What's up, everybody? Spare with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on Space Engineers. When we left off in the last episode, we were working on the hangar, which will probably get overhauled quite a bit. I've got some new ideas, also planning on a few different ideas in terms of design, because, truth be told, I kind of didn't realize that I was kind of just going in straight line here. I mean, I did, but I didn't. Like, I wasn't really thinking about it. It was just like, okay, next room, next room, next room. And I got thinking about it, and I'm like, you know, I don't know that I just want the thing to be one long tube. You know, it's like, I might actually want it to be, you know, I don't know, something a little more different. I also thought of some interesting ideas with the hangar, with this ship in mind. One of which, now that I'm looking at it, I don't think I can do. I thought about putting a merge block here and then having the welder come off, and you could put like a drill, a grinder, you know, whatever, and make it an all-purpose ship. But looking at it, I think the batteries and solar panels are actually attached to the welder, so I don't think that would work. But it was an interesting idea. Like, I got this picture of flying the ship in like this, and then it could get like clamped, and then a little hinge could come down and pull the welder off, and you could cycle it to something else. You know, something like that. That would be kind of interesting. Maybe on our next ship that we build, like little drone thing, we can do that. But big news. Big news. So the game updated, which is always a welcome thing. And they added a new block. You'll notice I've taken the liberty of making the oxygen generator and this tank. I went ahead and completed them. Now, I have the tank set to stockpile at the moment, mostly just because there's no real reason to have it functional and trying to pump air into the vents when they're not pressurized or anything. Then you might notice this advanced rotor. Now, I have it airtight because I don't know if this will be the roof here for this part or if we'll end up moving it, but for now, I just figured it would be more beneficial. So then we come to the big update from this episode. The oxygen farm. Something that I would have expected to be a mod that is actually like the main... It's been implemented by the main devs. Wait, that's upside down. So, I don't know how they're quite doing the science for this. Is there a... There's not a container on the top. Okay. I don't know exactly their science behind this, or if it's just fictional sci-fi and hey, it's fun. Either way, I am super stoked and could not be happier. So let's go ahead and weld it together. And by weld it together, I totally meant not having all the parts. Okay, what are we missing? So, ooh, bulletproof glass. That's the problem. Okay. So you need 40 steel plates, 100 bulletproof glass. Actually, I could just grab it here. So you need 40 steel plates, 100 bulletproof glass, 20 large tubes, 10 metal grids, 20 construction, 20 computers. Is the component things necessary for the bulletproof glass. Now, bulletproof glass... I could totally tell you how it was made if I remembered how it was made. Straight silicone, whatever. Alright, good to know. I might borrow some since these assemblers and stuff are kind of being occupado. Where is all of my silicon? I have a ton of it. Here we go. Let's grab like 1,000. Right? That should be plenty. In theory. Ooh, it finally got my grab components on. Oh, wait, no. Still waiting on the cobalt to finish those last ones. Okay. Let me go ahead and throw these in here real quick. Wait, where... Alright, so that one's done. Okay, I don't have the metal grids. Don't have the metal grids. Wait, why do I have... 1, 2... Oh! 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. That's why I had 6 more being made. I was like, why am I doing that? Okay. Alright. So, while we're making the glass... How many did I say we needed? 100? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Actually, you know what? Let's just go ahead and have this one build it, because until we get the cobalt needed for this, it's not going to make those anyway. So we'll just go ahead and do this. 1500 silicon is 100 bulletproof glass, apparently, just FYI. So we'll come back and check on that in a second. But what does this do, you might be wondering. Some of you have probably watched the update video, which is cool. I don't know their science or rationality behind this, but essentially what this is a solar panel to oxygen maker, basically. It's, you point it at the sun, the solar panel mechanics work the same way. It's got the 4 pips on it, and the more green pips you've got, the more energy it's getting. And then it, from what I understand, it basically just makes oxygen. So I have it tied in with an advanced rotor here that goes to the generators, so it should be stockpiling into this functional tank for now, until at least this room or whatever is sealed up. I put it on a rotor so that we could turn it and kind of adjust kind of where we wanted it to go. In the future, I have big plans for this. Some of you who watch my Programming 101 series may already know that I'm working on currently a solar panel script that you can basically just extend the solar panels, and then the script will automatically adjust where the most optimum direction it is for it to face the sun, so that it's always getting the most optimum power. I fully intend to implement that on these as well at some point. From what I have heard, 2 oxygen farms are required to properly give enough oxygen to a room for a single astronaut. So from what the update video said, it's a 2-to-1 ratio for how many astronauts you have. I will probably do 4 when I'm fully done with the interior and ready to do kind of a system for these. So what my plan is, I would like to have these set up in such a way that they're concealed. Like, just bear with me for a minute and work with my imagination here. And let's say this block line is the top, right? So like this rotor, or I guess this first block above the rotor, would be the top of the ship. I'd like to have it fold down then to where it's concealed and flush with the ship, and then you could activate it where it rolls out, and then it could turn and, you know, do whatever it needs to in order to reach optimum efficiency. I think that would be cool. Also, it would be kind of interesting to do in terms of an array. Yes, alright, cool. So what I'm also thinking is like an array of them. Like maybe instead of 1, 2, 3, and 4 and having 4 of them pop up out of the ship, maybe having just one flat array that will come out almost like a solar array, and everything will adjust accordingly. Alright, so a couple of things. It requires power. I don't know how much, I have not checked that, but the red indicates it is not properly powered. So I need some kind of access panel here. Let's get rid of you for now. Okay, control panel. It's under O for oxygen farm element. Oh, oxygen farm 3? Did I really place that many? Oxygen output is 70%, apparently. Max required input is 1 kilowatt. So they're actually not that hard to power. Show block on terminal, shower faction. So is it on now? No, it's not. Weird. Alright. So let's turn off all of these grav walks. I think they're eating my power. No. Did I do it right? Did I turn them off? Toggle block on off. Oh, I didn't turn these off. Wow, they require 560 kilowatts per railing? That's kind of intense. goodness, no wonder I don't have any power. These things are just like eating my power alive. Alright, gyroscopes. That's on the other ship. Industrial door. Container. I can turn the refinery off. How's this doing? It should be fine. Max required input. We'll go ahead and turn the refinery. I guess that's not too crazy. We'll leave the assembler on for now. Actually, I can turn that off too. I don't really need it to do anything. Man, I'm not getting... It's got to be the power draw from the other ship that's doing it. I really wanted to test this and see how this worked. But there's no... Oh, sorry about that. There's no way to separate the grid without disconnecting the connector, so I guess we'll try that. Since I can just tell it to reconnect in a minute. Let's find the connector and tell it to unlock. No, it's still not... It's unlocked. What else is drawing power? I wish it would tell me how much... I need a cockpit or something. What is the cheapest one I can do? Flight seat's pretty cheap. None of these are cheap enough for me to figure out what's going on. Huh. Maybe the rotor? Maybe the rotor's drawing too much power? Advanced rotor. Turn the block off. Oh, that's a different one. What is that for? Oh, that's for the, reactor. Okay. Max required input. Let's go ahead and turn all these off. Current input is nothing, so these aren't eating any power. They're all turned off. Generator. I guess I can turn that off. Tank will keep on, because I need that to fill. Oxygen output is 70%. That's the only part I don't quite understand. Refinery is off. Solar panel is on. Current output is 6.5 kilowatts. Okay. So I not only disconnected my power draw, but I also disconnected the power supply. That's interesting. Let's just turn that off while we're at it. We'll open it and turn it off. Large cargo container. Oh, that's just a show block and terminal. Open, off. All of these are off. Or they should be. Air vents are off. Everything's off. Even the assembler's off. Connector's not off. Turn that off. Maybe that'll help. Rotor off. Rotor off. So, even with one solar panel, based on how this is described, it should be getting enough power for it to work. So I don't understand why it's not working, because all it's supposed to need is power, and the advanced rotors are supposed to... let's turn the braking torque all the way up. The advanced rotors are supposed to be able to transfer power. Well, this is interesting. Let's turn the generator back on. Maybe that needs to be on. Oh, geez. There's no way that's going to power it. I have 6 kilowatts going on right now. Well. Alrighty then. Let me do some debugging here, and I'll get back to you in a second. Okay, problem solved. Fixed it. Because I'm that good. Yep. Totally solved the problem. Okay. Okay, in short, I just logged out and logged back in because that's what the Googles said to do, and it works. So keep that in mind. If you have, if you've placed one of these and you can't figure out why it won't work, try logging out and logging back in. I've read on a lot of forums that there's a bug going on that causes that to fix it. So what we're looking at here... Oh, this is not cool. I don't know which angle it's set at. I think it's 0. It usually defaults to 0. Let's find out. Airtight rotor. Current angle's 0. Okay, so what I want to do is make it go more towards the 45-degree mark. So let's set this to an upper limit of 45. And we'll set the velocity here to 0.5. I think. Okay. And it does nothing. Is it... This is the right one, right? I think so. Current angle, unlimited, rotor displacement. Maybe 1? Why are you no move? Why are you not moving? That's all set up correctly. Do I have the oxygen generator on? Maybe that's causing the... Nope. The tank's on. It's not being filled. The farm is generating. Maybe this needs to be on, which will probably shut everything down. Okay, the generator's on. Oh, one other thing we can do is we can turn this back on. Okay. And we can reconnect this so that it's now tied back. Oops! Oops, wait, no, stop. I hate rotors so much. Why? Why do you go to 56 when I set upper angular to 45? That makes no sense to me. This is why I don't like rotors. They do this kind of crap all the time. Alright, so I actually needed it to go the other way. Oh, no, no. Crap, 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 crap. Well, nuts. Negative 45? Maybe is what I meant. I could just type this in, I guess. Let's see if that works. Oh, they are two-sided, so I could just make it do that, but I also need to check and see if this is actually storing anything. Oxygen tank... filled. Wait a minute, which... Why are you not filling up? Okay, so what angle are you at now? Probably not what I wanted you to be. Negative 57. Sure, why not? How about negative 50? Let it go anywhere? No. See, it clearly says 45. So if this is 0, I don't understand. I don't get rotors. They make no sense to me. Let's try... Let's try negative 75. What the heck was that? Current angle, negative 417. I don't even think that's possible. What just happened? Oh, I set the upper limit too high. I don't get it. Okay, so first of all, we obviously have a problem. Our problem is that the tank is not filling for reasons unknown. This still says 0. I suppose I could put auto refill and see if that does something. Show on HUD, use conveyor system is on. Stockpile is on. Stockpiling will not get drained by air vents. Stockpiling tanks will not get drained. Okay, yeah, that's what I want. You must have an active antenna connected. So all this is set up correctly. This is generating. So I don't know why the tank's not filling up. Because it's connected through a conveyor. Or at least I thought it was. Advanced rotor, which has the little conveyor thingy. Alright, so let's try this the old-fashioned way. Screw rotors, they suck. I'm just going to place it on here directly and see if that fixes anything. But let's make sure it's at least facing the sun somewhat. Oh! It would help if I put it on the right block, wouldn't it? Alright. Maybe it has to be directly connected, I don't know. Oh crap, now it's gonna do this again? Really? Can I just like turn it on and off? Maybe that'll fix it. I hope. My game takes so long to load because of all the mods I have, it's really annoying. Of course you're not gonna work. Alright, give me a minute. Okay, so there it goes. When I first logged in, it was like flickering back and forth between red and green. It was kind of freaking me out, but I guess now it's working. So let's check out the oxygen container tanky thingy. It's not filling. I don't understand. Like, I know I'm connected to a generator, which technically a generator, well, generates. There's only one other thing that I'm thinking of, and that might be that it's producing so slowly that it's not filling it up because of the capacity of the tank, which is possible. I mean, if you need 2 solar or oxygen farms per astronaut, that's kind of like, it doesn't really do a whole lot. So that could be the thing. Before we run out of time, though, we're going to let that sit and kind of see how that does. This is not going to be permanent, though. I'm definitely going to do something completely different for how these are set up. I'm not going to do them in a fashion like this, where they're just going to sit on top of the generators like that or something. I've actually got like a plan in mind. I don't know. A lot depends on the overall body of the ship, how we end up developing it. One of the things, though, is there was a brand new mod that came out like within a day or so, I think, and it's from, okay, it's called, these are weird titles for what they actually call, they're called like M interior walls or something, but it's from the same person that does all these S mods, like the modular thrusters and the M thrusters and everything. But really cool looking build walls. I don't know which way is up. The multi-lines are up, I guess. So it does require interior plates, which we know how much we love that, and construction components, but that's it. So they're also very cheap, which is cool. These require interior plates. These are 25 and 4, plus 4 large tubes and 10 steel tubes. These are 25 and 10, but no other materials, which is cool. Now, granted, this is floor, which these are walls, so there's that. But these are probably a better comparison, which is 11 interior plates, 5 construction components, and 2 tubes. So those are actually a little bit cheaper. But these are double walls too. I don't know if all of these are the same materials. Looks like they are. But there's some really cool designs in here. Like this one is interesting because it's actually like a corner, but an angle corner, which makes it interesting. That's kind of cool. This one is glass, but it's one-sided glass, I guess, or something. Because it says side glass single. Unless I'm reading that wrong. Oh no, that's just side. So it's like a glass window, which that's pretty cool. I like that. And then you have the single sides, which are just like the doubles, only there's one of them. So this would be good for like hallways. Because we talked before about, like, you know, how you couldn't put two walls in the same space because of the way that it... Well, that door didn't open all the way. Lovely. The way that this handles collisions of not being able to really put them in the same space, something like these would fix that problem. And actually, with this flooring, I actually like this flooring better with these walls than I do with the yellow and white ones. I don't really like that flooring as much with these, so I'm definitely thinking of using these more. Let me pick up some energy. I'm definitely thinking of using those more for future walls and stuff. The refinery room and stuff didn't really need a whole lot of walls, so I wasn't really worried about it. Still am not. And the engineering one, I think I'm going to leave it the way that it is, only because these are like engineering blocks or something. I mean, if you read the description, I think those were supposed to be for engineering, so I'm thinking we'll leave those. That's fine, the way that it is. But we'll do some different stuff from here on out, kind of thing. From these blocks on, I'm going to do some different things. And I also like this one. Also has a curve, which is really cool. It would be an interesting scenario to combine them with the curved armored blocks for exterior components. Like you could do a rounded edge all the way up, kind of thing, which would be kind of neat. So I definitely want to use more of those. I'm thinking of redoing the hangar with a less straight line mentality. What I almost think I might do, and let me know what you guys think about this in the comments, what I may end up doing... Do I not have a... There's one. Okay. Do I have any steel plates on me? I have 70. Cool. So what I'm actually thinking about doing is tearing this... Maybe not tearing it down, but instead of a doorway here, getting rid of these two hangar doors, I think... And I might do either one single one right here. I may actually do a floor hanger. There's supposed to be SF floor door. Oh wait, no, that's the refurb one. So there's this one, which I can't get to go down to the floor. That seems kind of redundant. If you can't get the floor hanger door to go to the floor, how is it a floor door? SF floor door. I really feel like that's what it's supposed to be. So it's 3 by 3? Maybe? I can't tell. I can't get the view where I want it. Oh my gosh, this thing just does not like... There we go! So you have to actually attach it to something that's angled that way. So it looks like 3 by 3. So we might have to change up the... But I thought about doing something like that. And then instead of continuing to go straight, here's what I'm thinking. I'm either going to do... where is the side door? The cargo door. Is this the only one that there was, or was there a new one? Said underscore. Why can't I do an underscore? Oh, that's cute. So you can name things with an underscore, you can't search things with an underscore. Nice. Okay. So I think there's just this one. So I've thought about either doing... I know I said I wasn't probably going to do the same thing. Why is everything being so uncooperative? Like, it won't flip to the right direction. I guess you have to attach it to the wall, not the floor. That's annoying. Anyways, you get the idea of, I'm thinking about doing it like this kind of angle and having it in this line, this row, and then leaving this part of the ship hollow for a bit and then bringing it back around or something so that you can come up under and in this way. I'm either going to do something like that or I'm going to do something in the floor. But I think I'm going to remove the side doors because what I'd like to do is go in these directions for newer doorway so that we're not just a big tube of a ship. With that in mind, it also begs the question of how would it look, because it's basically almost going to end up being like, I'm getting the vibe that if I don't change this back design, it's probably going to turn into a hammerhead shape of a straight line and then out to both sides, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just we have to kind of have an idea of what we're doing. We could do something interesting as far as start... It's hard to explain this stuff, and I really just don't have the time at the moment to build out a huge framework for it and then explain it. But what I'm thinking is if this were the back, like right where it starts to branch out, we could actually work like a fin type shape around to this back part and then have that wall. I really hope this can be explained accurately enough that you'll understand what I'm talking about. Let's do a small shape. How about that? So assume this block right here is the very back of the engine room or the thrusters, so the very back of the ship. So the ship ends right here. Okay? Now let's assume that this block is right here, the hangar bay, and that this block is the very front of the ship or the bridge. Okay? So we kind of have this stingray hammerhead shape going on. What I'm talking about is possibly coming off of the hangar and doing a kind of like thin shape like this and bringing it back around. But instead of just having it be a little wing, then bring the other edge, the three-dimensional edge of it out a bit. And then the front of the ship, kind of completing the manta ray, stingray kind of look. Could do something like this. So you end up with like this wing, but the wing wraps around to protect the back so that unless something got directly behind you, you couldn't just shoot the back here and take out thrusters, engine, and refinery. That would be very unsecure to leave these just like this. So that's kind of my idea of what I could possibly do if we branch off from the sides here instead of just continuing to go in a straight line. If we continue to go in a straight line, it would just end up being something similar to this, where it's just like a carrier kind of shape and not anything interesting. But let me know what you guys think about all that. And I'm open to suggestions and ideas on formatting the oxygen farms as well. Let me double check real quick. It's been long enough. We should at least be at like 0.01% or something, if this is working correctly. Aha! Literally 0.01%. Okay, cool. So we are building up air. I'm definitely wanting to make use of these. As you all know, I'm very... utilize like solar panels and now oxygen farms into where like you're self-sustaining and you never have to go mining for uranium or ice and things like that. Still, at that rate though, I'm definitely using this O2 miner for a while still, just until I run out of ice or that's a more viable system setup. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. In the meantime, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I will see you all next time. Peace.